She wasn't the one pulling the trigger, but every bullet fired traced back to her influence. In an era ruled by gangsters, bank robbers, and shootouts, one woman stood at the center of America's most feared criminal family. To some, she was just a devoted mother. To the FBI, she was the most dangerous brain behind organized crime. Her name was Ma Barker, and her story blurs the line between motherhood and monstrosity. Was she a criminal mastermind or a myth created by law enforcement? Tonight, we uncover the shocking truth behind one of the most controversial women in crime history. Ma Barker, born Arizona Donnie Clark in 1873, grew up in rural poverty at a time when survival often meant bending the law. She married George Barker and raised 4 sons, Herman, Lloyd, Arthur, and Fred. As the boys grew older, crime became a way of life. Petty theft turned into armed robbery, and soon the Barker family was deeply involved in America's violent crime wave during the Great Depression. Whether Ma Barker encouraged their crimes or simply refused to stop them remains one of the greatest debates in criminal history. By the 1920s and 1930s, all 4 Barker sons were involved in serious crime, bank robberies, kidnappings, and murders. Ma Barker stayed close, moving with them from hideout to hideout, managing logistics, cooking meals, and maintaining silence. Authorities later claimed she helped plan crimes and enforced loyalty within the gang. Critics argue she was illiterate and incapable of masterminding complex operations. But one thing is certain, she never discouraged her sons. Loyalty to family came above all else, even as violence escalated. The Barker family lived constantly on the move, hiding in cheap apartments, rural cabins, and tourist lodges. They used aliases, avoided attention, and trusted almost no one. Ma Barker often played the role of a harmless older woman, which allowed the gang to blend into communities without suspicion. Behind closed doors, however, weapons were cleaned, plans were discussed, and escape routes memorized. Their lives were defined by paranoia, tension, and the knowledge that capture or death was inevitable. J. Edgar Hoover's FBI labeled Ma Barker the most vicious, dangerous, and resourceful criminal brain of the last decade. This portrayal turned her into a national villain. Yet historians later questioned this narrative, suggesting Hoover exaggerated her role to justify FBI failures and promote the Bureau's image. Was Ma Barker truly a criminal genius, or a convenient symbol used to personify evil? The truth likely lies somewhere in between, a fiercely loyal mother who enabled extreme violence through silence and support. In January 1935, Ma Barker and her son Fred were tracked to a lakeside cottage in Florida. The FBI surrounded the house. What followed was one of the most intense shootouts in American law enforcement history. Gunfire lasted for hours. When it was over, both Ma Barker and Fred Barker were dead. The FBI claimed she fought to the end, weapon in hand. Others argued she was caught in a situation she never fully controlled. Her death sealed her legend forever. Today, historians still debate who Ma Barker truly was. Some believe she was an uneducated woman swept into her son's crimes. Others argue her emotional control and unwavering loyalty made her a powerful force within the gang. Regardless of intent, her refusal to intervene allowed violence to flourish. Her story challenges the idea that evil always looks obvious and forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about responsibility, influence, and denial. Ma Barker became a cultural icon featured in films, books, and songs. She remains one of the most famous women in American crime history, not because she pulled the trigger, but because she stood behind those who did. Her legacy is a reminder that silence can be as powerful as action, and that loyalty without limits can lead to destruction. The story of Ma Barker is not just about crime, it's about influence, about how love, when twisted by loyalty and denial, can become dangerous. Whether mastermind or bystander, Ma Barker shocked the world by standing at the center of violence and never stepping away. And in doing so, she became immortalized as one of history's most controversial women.